Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
And 1.
That's us.
Yeah?
Hey, Lions won. Lions won.
And what's crazy is like...
Lions won.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, guess what?
5-1.
Same old shit. Lions won again.
5-1. 5-1. 5-1. 5-1.
And they did it on the road. They did it in impressive fashion. And they did it because of the way Dan Campbell coaches, the way Brad Holmes has built this team, and the defense. I know we talk about the Lions offense all the time, and like every post-game show, we give glory to the Lions offense. They did fine today, but holding the Buccaneers to 6 points in their own house, that is something that we have not seen out of the Lions defense in a long time.
Welcome in, Woodward Sports. It is the post-game show. Lions a 20-6 win today over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the sombrero with Bucko Bruce and the orange creamsicles. They got it all. We got Stick, Anson, Maz. We got Kool-Aid. We got Lukey. We got pizza in the back. We got it all going right now. Give us a call, 313-552-6322. Thanks for hanging with us on the watch party. We had a ball. The only downside today, David Montgomery goes down. But guess what? Another guy picks him up, and his name is who, Stick?
Craig!
Netflix!
You don't steal boxes!
Netflix!
And, okay, I mean, we got to talk about it then, since that's the first thing that got brought up. I mean, we were going to talk about defense a little bit, but the block that Craig Reynolds threw to get the Lions their first touchdown of the game on a play that shouldn't have even been a first down. I was screaming, like, out of route, why are you running backwards? And you were hoping Reynolds, or like the other Reynolds, Josh Reynolds, was going to get a block. Out of nowhere comes Craig Reynolds blasting his dude 3 yards in the air, also into another defender, forcing him not to be able to run Amon-Ra St. Brown out of bounds, even though he would have had a first down. Like, that block personifies Lions football.
It
personifies
does.
every single dude that's on this team, and personifies exactly what Dan Campbell is looking for out of his players. Don't give up because you just had your assignment. The play isn't dead. He kept going, and that block should go down as in history. Like, I want a poster of that block with the dude 3 feet in the air looking like the flying lion.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 catches, 124 yards, and Jared Goff, last week 115 on the QBR, this week 107.5, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 353 yards, well in control, Anson.
You know, if I would have been told that we would get outrun by 46 to 40 yards in this game, because I thought we were just going to control the team. We gave up 46. We only had 40 of our own. But hey, when your running game looks like that, you got to pick it up in other areas. That block was just awesome. Might be the play of the year thus far. I know we were kind of throwing it back and forth, but this was the game that I needed to see out of the Lions. On the road, division leader in the Bucs. You know, a lot of ugliness in this game, especially in the first half. This was a game that the Lions in the past dumped, but they never let this team in the game. They stepped on their necks early. They didn't have a big lead, but they never opened the door for the Bucs.
Jets just scored. Jets scored. The Jets scored. They lead the Philadelphia Eagles, the once unbeaten Philadelphia Eagles, 20-12. Right now it is 18-12. They'll probably go for 2 here. We'll keep you posted. That means the Lions are the best team in the NFC. Am I correct there?
Yeah, and you know, the Eagles have been playing down for the last few weeks. They've been struggling. There's a target on their back as the NFC champions, of course, but this is a team that on paper really looks like one of the best in the NFL, and they've struggled against some subpar opponents. If they lose to the Jets today, it's a huge bonus for the Lions and what we're trying to do in the NFC.
And they're going for 2 now. We'll keep you posted on that, Stick. But before we even get to the defense, of course, another game they hold an opponent under 100 yards. They hold them to 46 freaking yards. 46. Jets get the 2. It is 20-14. with 1:46 to go in that game. Hey guys, put the camera over here now because poor Anson's just sitting there alone. And I'll talk to him. We can do a split camera if we like. But Anson, phenomenal game. Yeah. Both sides of the ball. Still, we're on the offense right now. No mistakes. No mistakes, even though David Montgomery goes out early in this game with a rib injury.
Yeah, I mean, on the road against a tough defense like this, not being able to run the ball, but you got a cool commander in Jared Goff. This guy just knows how to not make mistakes. And this is a game that in the years past, the Lions would have made mistakes and probably lost this game, but he's so cool under center. He just doesn't make the mistakes. It's just as simple as that. When you see the Lions winning the turnover battle week in, week out, doesn't matter if you're on the road. Doesn't matter.
I left my house at halftime so I could get here, hang out for the second half of you guys and do the post-game show. So in the beginning of the third quarter, the Lions struggle in the third quarter so far. They go down, they miss a 52-yard field goal with the wind at their back. So Riley Patterson misses. They give the ball to Tampa Bay on the 42, and they don't do anything. The defense steps up, and what happens? The Lions come back, drive the ball down. Couple of mistakes maybe. Jamison Williams, he goes in. He should have maybe caught a ball that was right there. I was listening to Lomas Brown, Dan Miller. They were like, oh, he's got to have that, got to have that. At that moment, I hit talk to text, and I texted the gang here, and I said, J-Mo sucks.
A little early on that one.
One play later.
Redemption touchdown.
Redemption. Baby. How great was the twirl, back twirl, front twirl for the touchdown?
He needed every part of his body, his shoulder, and all 10 digits to bring that in, but what a game changer that was at that moment. What a just a belief changer and a confidence changer that's got to be for J-Mo. And then a few of the guys here talked about it. You don't go back to J-Mo after that drop unless he's putting the work in practice. This guy has earned their confidence clearly.
And didn't he look like when Fox put the camera on him after that touchdown? He's on the sidelines. His coach is coaching him up, and he just looked like a prize fighter.
Yeah.
Like I just kicked ass.
Yeah.
He looks like he was ready to go. He needed that touchdown.
He really did. Worse than the Lions did, to be honest. Because if we can turn this guy into taking the top off the game every single week out, this guy can transform our offense. We don't even need our running backs, clearly.
All right, guys. So the Eagles are losing right now.
Yes.
49ers lost today.
Yep.
The Lions are now sitting even record-wise with both of those teams. Are the Lions the best team in the NFC right now?
Yes.
Do they jump to your number one in the power rankings because of what you saw today?
Let's not get crazy because the 49ers did lose a couple of key guys today.
I don't want to hear that. We had key guys out.
But let me explain.
We had key guys
out. Says the McCaffrey owner.
Let me explain. Christian McCaffrey scores in his 15th straight game, scored a touchdown. Later goes out with an oblique injury. And who went down after that? Deebo Samuel?
Okay.
Deebo Samuel goes down after that.
And Kittle must have, because he had one catch for 1 yard.
Kittle, one catch for a yard. And Brock Purdy played decent. The second half, he was way off. He did drive his team down for a possible win. And Jake Moody missed the second field goal.
So are the Lions better than the 49ers right now? Do you put the Lions above the 49ers?
Where are they playing?
Huh?
Where are they playing?
A neutral site.
You can't say Ford
Las
Field.
Vegas. They're playing in Las Vegas.
Say it. Oh, they're playing in the
Come on,
NFC
man,
Championship?
say it. Say the Lions are better than the 49ers
The Lions are better than the 49ers.
Yes!
I'll tell you, if you see those two teams in the NFC Championship, home field is going to probably determine that game. But at the same point, if I'm putting Jared Goff up against Purdy in a situation where one has to not make mistakes, I kind of like Jared Goff, man. I'd give the nod to the Lions right now. I still think the Eagles are the class of the NFC, though.
So far.
Jalen Hurts just threw 3 interceptions. They're losing to a much lesser squad.
Well, but everybody has a bad week, and we just talked. The Eagles have been playing down heavy, but until they start losing a bunch of games, we're both 5-1 coming out of this week, if they do indeed.
So you're not putting the Lions above them, even though the Lions just went on the road and beat a team that was number 1 in their division.
The weakest division, maybe in football.
No, actually, we're the weakest division in football.
Well,
if you want to talk
after
about
us,
aside from the leader.
After us.
Yeah.
So you're not giving the Lions any credit for being first in their division.
I'm telling you, they're the best second best in the NFC. But I can't dethrone the NFC champions, who are about to be 5-1, maybe even still 6-0. I just can't do that yet.
Jets get the win.
Is that 4 interceptions for Hurts?
It wasn't an interception, but
Okay.
they stop them on 4th down. Jets take over. They have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles in Jersey 20-14.
That's
So
amazing.
the Niners lose, the Eagles lose, the Seahawks lose, and that's the only team that beat the Lions. So, Stick,
Yeah.
Lions are the best team in the NFC.
I mean, that's by default. Like, if we're going to use college, if they rank people by college, all right. Lions were sitting 3rd, right, in the NFC, behind San Francisco, behind the Eagles. Both those teams lose this week. Lions beat a divisional number 1. They got to be your number 1 team in the NFC. If they're not right now, I don't know what you're watching.
They're my number one team in the world. You know, I love them, but I got to be a little realistic. These are the NFC champions. Sure, they lost and played down to a Jets team, but that's a great defense
That was last year.
But Anson,
They're 5-1.
Is like, who has Philly beaten that showed you, like, wow? These
Who have
guys
the
are
Lions
legit?
beaten?
The Chiefs.
They-
They
okay,
there's
went on
one,
the road,
there's
blew
one.
out the Packers. They blew out the Carolina Panthers.
The
No
Chiefs?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The
They did
Chiefs?
same
The
thing
Chiefs,
they did to the
without
Tampa
their
Bay
best
Buccaneers and the
offensive and
Falcons.
their
Oh
best
my God.
defensive player. I love the Lions. They're fantastic. I'm calling them the second best team in the NFC. You're not happy enough
But your
with that.
argument is they haven't beaten anybody, so you're not giving them credit
No,
for the Chiefs
no, that
or
wasn't my
going on the
argument.
road.
He just said that the Eagles haven't beaten anybody. We've beaten one team.
My whole
All right?
point is, I don't know how you're going to put the Eagles there, but not the 49ers. The 49ers, in my opinion, are still clearly the best team in the NFL. I
Well-
don't care what anybody says. There's no way that you could have the Eagles in front of the 49ers.
All right, fellas, it doesn't really matter. We've won 5 out of 6. We've won 13 of 16. It is the best streak in Lions history. You got to go back to 1962 when I was born for them to have won 13 of 16. That's a long time ago. Take a look at me. I'm old. 13 out of 16. And Stick, I'm putting it all on you.
Yeah.
Because it started when, I don't know, you found a beautiful young lady.
Honestly, like since I started dating my fiance, the Lions have only lost 2 or 3 games. It's been amazing. So
The
you're
Corey
welcome.
effect.
You're welcome. Everybody, you're welcome.
Hey,
Finally,
guys.
the universe aligned. Everything worked out.
Hey, we're going to try to get you guys on the phone. We got some technical issues. Give us a call. We'll do our best to get you on. 313-552-6322. Kool-Aid will be on the line, and hopefully we can get you on here. We got Stick and Anson. We got Kool-Aid and Lukey. Lions with a 20-6 win at Tampa Bay. Gets them ready for next week against the Ravens, who struggled a little today but beat the Titans in London. So Baltimore will be home next week. Lamar Jackson really hasn't done much of anything. Their receivers are so-so. The Kid Flowers might be something there. Their running game, not so good. So I don't think the Lions have a hell of a lot
It's a winnable
more
game
to
for
worry
certain.
about.
Kool-Aid
certainly
brought up
winnable
a great
game.
question
Yeah.
while we were doing the watch party. The fact that our running back position is down with injuries right now, do you trust all the offense to go on Jared Goff and pretty much do what they did today against Tampa Bay? Just let him hit those short little slant routes, guys over the middle, control the game. Craig Reynolds did his thing. He was supported. But let's give Goff his flowers here too. He hit every pass he needed to hit. There were several drops which would have made his stat line even better. I mean,
A lot of drops.
going back to J-Mo after J-Mo came back and dropped that one, and then Laporta dropped another
He dropped
2
a
drops
few.
in a row.
Yeah.
And then you go back to your rookie or your second-year wide receiver in J-Mo.
Brock Wright even got one today for 7 yards on a first down.
Is Jared Goff a guy you're comfortable with being the focal point of the offense?
So far, yes, I am. But the Ravens are going to be a little bit tougher task on that defensive side next week. At home, they get after the quarterback. They get after the run. That's a hell of a defense that Baltimore has. I could tell you that. I'm not worrying about next week right now. I don't want to jump to that right now. I'm just so happy with the win today because when the game started, guys, I didn't like the way the first quarter was going. It looked like Tampa Bay might have had us. To me, even though it was 3-0 Lions at the time, I felt that I wasn't comfortable watching this game. I'm like, damn, it's going to be another one of those ugly Tampa Bay games. And it became an ugly Tampa Bay game, except ugly for Tampa. The Lions really took control, and by the fourth quarter, that defensive line of the Bucs, they had their hands down. They're looking around. Defensive backs are looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown like, he caught that? This guy just keeps catching everything. They're staying in bounds. It's a very well-coached team, Anson. You gotta give them that.
Oh, I would never take that away from them. They, I said at the very beginning this was going to be an uncomfortable game. But they were out-coached, they were outplayed, and by the second half, like you said, they were frustrated. This is supposedly the best defense in the NFC, and sure, they held us to only 20 points, but right now we're looking like we could possibly have just as good of a defense as Tampa Bay right now. We certainly have a much better offense. When you see Jared Goff throw the ball 44 times and complete 30 of those passes for 350-plus yards, I have absolutely zero issue giving him the reins of this offense, even if we can only run the ball 10 times because we're so banged up.
Lucas, what do you think? Can you put the ball in Goff's hand, let him be the focal point of this crowd, of this team, and he'll take the ball and do what he needs to do?
With this Detroit Lions roster around him, absolutely. After he went into Lambeau and did what he did, it was every bit apparent to me that this was the guy for the Detroit Lions to lead them into the future, because he has everything on this roster tightened and sealed. Every receiver has chemistry with Jared Goff. Every receiver has trust with Jared Goff. Each lineman knows that Jared Goff, he might not be the most mobile quarterback in the world, but right now Jared Goff's mobility is better than we've seen for the last 2 or 3 years. The fact that he's at least on that, it was like his 1st and 15, he extended the play, and it was the 2nd and 15, but he avoided a sack, and he just tried to create a play. Jared Goff is entering his prime. He's doing things that he wasn't doing last year, and when you add this defense onto it, which is young, so you can re-sign and just keep drafting with Brad Holmes, Jared Goff is a perfect guy for this team.
And you know what I like about this team, too, is, like, Maz, you were just making excuses for why the 49ers lost today. Anson, you were just making excuses for why the Chiefs lost, right? You guys were making excuses. The Lions were down Amon-Ra St. Brown.
They're the most devastatingly injured team. They are. The Lions are definitely the most decimated team, and the Jets. The Lions and the Jets.
They're not here making excuses.
No, they're not.
It's the next man up mentality.
Absolutely.
I was told last week the Lions wide receivers wouldn't be as good because Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't there. He wasn't there. What the hell happened?
42 points.
They delivered. Exactly.
Jared Goff,
now this
touchdowns.
week, Amon-Ra St. Brown is back. Jameer Gibbs is out. Montgomery is out.
Josh Reynolds still showing up.
Josh Reynolds is showing up. J-Mo comes out of nowhere with a touchdown. So, like, as much as we want to discredit the Lions for beating the Chiefs because they didn't have Travis Kelce that game, look at how many
Chris
times
Jones.
and how many players the Lions have been out, and they're still able to smack the shit out of their opponent. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
That's fine.
And guys, when you look at the path today, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and I believe it was Trent Williams. Yeah, Trent Williams all got hurt for the 49ers. They're going to miss some time. The Eagles have to play the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs. That's going to be at least 2 losses out of those 3. I do not care what you say. The Lions schedule, if you look at the Lions schedule compared to the 49ers and Eagles schedule, it is hands down. There is a huge margin on who has the easiest schedule, and it's the Lions all the way. And these are all one-win teams.
Lions have the 31st easiest schedule right now. The 31st.
Yeah.
It's setting up for them because you don't really know at the beginning of the year how other teams are going to be playing. But now you got 2 with the Bears still. You got still 2 with the Vikings. You got 1 with the Packers. Now you got to go to Baltimore.
And
you
your
got
boys,
the Raiders coming in.
Broncos.
The Broncos at the end of the year,
Terrible.
they're falling apart. You got the Raiders coming in. You got the bye. You get the Chargers. Everything is winnable for this team. Everything is right there for them.
I said it last week, and I stand by it this week. If the Lions played their football, there is nobody that can beat them. The only way you're going to beat this Detroit Lions team is if they beat themselves.
Yeah.
Turnovers, doing dumb shit, pick sixes, stuff like that.
Yep.
That is the only way, because they're too skilled at every single level and too deep at every single level to let things trip them up at this point. So you really got to rely on the Lions making mistakes now, which is amazing.
Let's go to the phone lines, right, guys? 313-552-6322. Who we got, Kool-Aid?
Biggins
Biggins
is
is
back.
Hey, Biggins, what's happening?
I'm back.
Welcome in, man.
You know, last week I said I'm tired of Anson's pessimism, and here he is again saying we're not the best team in the NFC. The 49ers just lost to the XFL MVP third-string quarterback P.J. Walker. The Eagles just lost to a second-string Zach Wilson, who everybody wants benched. The Lions have only lost to a starting quarterback in the NFL. The Lions are the only team to play 6 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, it seems like. So how are we not the best team in the NFC and not the best team in the NFL? Other teams are losing to backup QBs. The Browns didn't have Nick Chubb, so don't tell me that CMC was hurt, so that's an excuse for the 49ers. Kareem Hunt just got signed 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks.
3 weeks ago, excuse me.
Anson, you got anything to say to Biggins?
So-
This rivalry has been great the last 3 weeks.
I mean, if you want to crown them, but they haven't done shit except for start off
The
the
Lions-
season. No, it's my turn, right?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Your
So,
turn.
We are 6 weeks into the season. Me saying that they're the second best team in the NFC, right behind the team that's the same record as us, that had a down week, similar to us in week 2, that is 5-1, NFC champions. I think that we can wait a little bit before we crown ourselves over the reigning champions of this conference. I shouldn't be attacked for saying we're better than the Niners. I hate the Niners. They took a lot of injuries today, which I think kind of puts them at and a little lower than the Lions. But the Lions have to continue these winning ways. There's only 4 uncomfortable games left on the schedule. But until they face off in the playoffs and beat the Eagles, I'm sorry, man. They're number 2 in the NFC.
But we're talking about rankings right now.
I am.
And I'm saying that the other teams in the NFC are losing to backup quarterbacks. The Lions lost to a Pro Bowl Geno Smith with the best wide receiver duo from the last 4 years. And they beat themselves with 2 turnovers that costed them 14 points.
No doubt.
Our defense only gave up 17 points that game, honestly, because there was a fumble on our own 2-yard line and a pick 6. So we really have the best defense in the NFL if you don't count those 14 points. We've got the best offense in the NFL. Despite injuries, we still score double digits and win by double digits every game. And you make excuses that these other teams are better than us when they're losing to inferior teams with backup quarterbacks, and we're winning by double digits when we're only favored by 3 by Vegas. And Vegas is so smart that they're...
Biggins,
and I'm having a conversation, but you don't have an argument.
Well, I did just make my argument, although I understand that you assume that yours is better. My question is this: how much playoff experience do the Lions have?
What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, it has to do with everything.
There's nothing to do with anything.
Are you guys? What world are you guys living in?
I'm living in
I get that you are mainlining Kool-Aid right now, but let's get to the playoffs.
Here's the world.
Okay,
you're
these
living
guys
in.
have a.
Here's the world you're living in. The old world. I'm living in this year NFL 5-1 Lions.
Yep, and I'm
And
saying
their
that the
only loss
5-1
is you're
NFC
living
champions are a little bit better.
And you keep saying NFC champions last year. I'm talking this year. This team today that lost to a backup quarterback.
All right.
Actually, third
Easy.
string
Any
quarterback.
given Sunday,
Dan
bro.
Campbell. Let's see what Dan Campbell has to say about everything.
We got
DC.
Dan Campbell. We got a couple of them, so just let me know when you want the next one. But here we go for the first one.
MCDC.
You know, the fans that travel with us and that show up at the state, I feel like every game there's more and more. I mean, we got into this game there at the end with up 2 scores, and
All right, give it back to us. We're going to replay that
I
one.
got a question
We're
for
going to
you
replay
guys.
that one in a minute.
What
They
was it?
flashed to Holmes, right?
Yeah.
Is there an GM coach tag team in the NFL that could take these two?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I would take in a street fight over anybody. Can you imagine what Dan Campbell would do
We got
to
Spielman,
Sean
too.
McVay?
We got Spielman, too.
You imagine what he'd do to Pete Carroll? You imagine what Dan Campbell, he would just rip off their arms. There's one person I'm worried about Dan Campbell
Mike
fighting,
Vrabel.
and that is Mike Vrabel. That's it.
I don't know. Mike Tomlin got some dad strength too. You know, some technique.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's got no shot. Hey,
fair.
313-552-6322. Let's go to our next caller. Kool-Aid, put yourself on the air and tell us who is up. I do not hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Kool-Aid. Just throw the caller up.
Caller, identify yourself. You're on Woodward Sports with Stick and Maz and Anson. Hello, caller.
This is Corey.
Hey, Corey. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great.
Us
This is
too.
freaking fantastic.
Yes.
Love hearing that.
5-1 Lions. I
Yes.
haven't seen anything this good since the freaking Michigan went 12-0. This is freaking fantastic. And I don't even know if that was Reynolds that made the block.
It was.
They're
It
like
was.
Bobby Boucher.
It was.
Bobby Boucher.
He knocked 2 guys down. He knocked 2 guys down. He
Yeah.
knocked them into each other. That was a
This is
fantastic
freaking
block.
ridiculous.
It was.
And then just not only him, but freaking Walker putting the pop on Chris Godwin. That was freaking spectacular.
Tracy
And
Walker,
honestly,
8 tackles for
TJ
Tracy
Gardner
Walker.
Johnson maybe, Huh?
I said Tracy Walker had a huge day. Huge day. 6 tackles, 5 solos. He was all over the place. Pass defended. He was hitting like a rocket today. Like a rocket.
It was insane, man. Like, gosh, C.J. Gardner-Johnson may be gone, but I'm pretty sure his infectious swagger has already gotten to every single player on that defense, and they are walking the walk and talking the talk. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's another guy, that we lost that the Lions just carried on, man. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And like he was saying, the confidence is just carried through. Not seeing as many ski masks as I did week 1 for the home game.
The ski masks are done.
You think they're done?
Yeah, they're done. So, they might be back for the division round of the playoffs because that's when CJ said he's coming back.
That'd be fantastic.
He didn't say wild card. He said division round. I'll be back.
So I have a question for you. We were talking about this week. Who do you think is the emotional leader for the defense? I know that Hutch is the knee-jerk answer. I think it's Sutton.
That's the tough part, and that's one of the awesome parts about this team is you really can't point to one leader. Like when I look at the defense today, they dominated, but who dominated really? Nobody dominated.
I don't know, man.
They did.
Tampa Bay entered the anal zone today.
He
was all over the place.
We need to start putting some respect on Alex Anzalone, not just for today, but if you go back
and
watch
respect
how
for him.
he's played since week 1 of this season, Alex Anzalone has shut everybody up. He's the emotional motor outside of Hutch. He flies around the field and has been making impact games every game.
So you think Anzalone's the heartbeat of this defense?
Outside of Hutch, absolutely.
Yeah,
we talk about this run defense and how dominant it is. Who's the middle linebacker, the guy calling out the shots? He got the green dot, the C on his chest. It's Alex Anzalone.
Hutch had 3 tackles today, 1 solo. He really didn't have his best game, but you know what? Other guys stepped up for him. By the way, do you still have that Dan Campbell cut?
Yeah, we'll try getting it in a second. I want to make sure we're all good first.
Okay, make sure you try it.
I feel like every single guy on the team stepped up today. Obviously, St. Brown and Goff were great, but there was just contributions everywhere.
Reynolds, another big game by Reynolds, catching some balls behind him, reaching behind him to grab. Like every time you look up, and what's really strange to me is every time Goff is back and you see him comfortably let a ball go, you just feel like it's going to be...
Yeah, it's good.
He's
going to make the right decision.
Yeah, and it's not going to be picked off. It's not going to be deflected.
He looked great in the fourth quarter. Very comfortable. The offensive line basically imposed their will on that Tampa Bay line. They were finished at the end of that game. The Lions owned the fourth quarter.
36-23 in terms of minutes of possession.
Yeah.
That's a domination.
You're not kidding.
Well, I mean, that in the fourth quarter when they got the ball, they were up 14.
It was over.
Well, all I said was just give me a 6
minutes,
drive.
you said, yeah.
And what did they do? They gave you exactly a 6-minute drive. Now, they didn't get any points on that drive, but they milked it so much to where 2 touchdowns against that defense today with that quarterback, Baker Mayfield, the fraudulent Baker Mayfield. I think he got exposed today. He was overthrowing guys. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket. The Lions just made him look like Baker Mayfield.
All right, back to the chat we go. Back to the phone lines. Let's send it to Kool-Aid. Let's send it to Kool-Aid. I'm not going to talk bad about Baker.
Hey, look, we got Cordell all the way from San Antonio.
Cordell from San Antonio. How about Victor Wembanyama? What's up, Cordell?
I wouldn't know much about him. I'm a Cavs fan. But,
okay.
But I will say, we got told all of this year that last year didn't matter on our 8-2 run. We can't correlate that into this year. We got to see what we're going to do this year. But Anson wants to keep bringing it up. They're the NFC champions from last year. What have they done this year?
I don't know.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Jalen Carter, I don't care that we didn't draft him. We've got Brian Branch, we've got Sam Laporta, and Meat Missile in the middle with Alex Anzalone. We're winning the NFC. You just, like that other guy brought up, all these teams are losing to inferior quarterbacks, and we lost to Geno Smith. But we're not supposed to think that we're the best in the NFC. How are we not the best in the NFC? And I don't want to hear Anson bring up, oh, they're the reigning NFC champions. We beat the reigning Super Bowl champs. How are we not this bad? I don't care if they didn't have Chris Jones because they still played one hell of a defensive game that day. I don't care if they didn't have Travis Kelce because that is still Patrick Mahomes. And they are the Super Bowl reigning champions.
This guy knows what's
up. Last year doesn't matter. All that matters is this year, and we're winning it all.
All right,
I hope you're
Cordell.
right, man. I hope you're right, but we're getting really crazy excited about regular season games. This team has never been.
What are we playing right now?
We do. We're supposed to commentate.
They've never.
The playoffs, Anson.
Hey, guys, join us for the post-game show in the
Oh, dude, you
playoffs.
ain't got to scream, man. Listen, this team needs to experience the playoffs first before we can crown them.
I get it,
okay?
but we got to talk about the team, man. We got to talk about.
Do you
what's
want the
happening
Lions
right
to be
before
considered
your
the number
eyes.
one team in the conference and have that on their back
Anson,
all the
it's
time?
only week 6,
Let
bro.
them earn it, man.
They
Well,
did.
hold
Through
on,
6 weeks,
Can
they
we
earned
please? Can we please just unpack what he just
I just
said?
don't understand how you
No,
can
no,
put
can
them
we-
over the Eagles because they lost one game.
I know you don't understand, and I'm sorry you can't. But did you just really say what you said?
I think he did.
What did I say?
Lucas,
They have to win a playoff game?
I
Smoke
wish I
another
could
one,
rerun
bro.
it
What do you
back.
got? Come on, you can't remember what I just said?
Lucas, go ahead.
It's basically just the fact of like you're not gonna crown them just yet because it's the regular season. But what else the hell are we gonna root for when it's the regular
I
season?
get
The
that,
Detroit-
but
the Detroit
saying that they've
Hold on,
wrapped
hold
up the
on, hold on.
NFC
No one's
Championship
saying that.
already.
No one's
This
saying
dude
that.
you just called did.
No, he didn't.
Anson, it's
Rewind that call.
It's week 6 of the regular season, correct? There's 3 teams in the NFC that are 5-1. The Lions, Eagles, and 49ers.
Yep.
The 49ers, like you just said, to your point, it's putting them with these injuries, you're putting them below the Lions. So now you have the Eagles. You can say what you want about the Eagles being NFC championships last year, but this year, the Detroit Lions, without a doubt, have a more impressive resume. And they know the one thing that I will say 10 times out of 10, the Lions right now know their identity. The Philadelphia Eagles, losing both of their coordinators right now, are trying to figure out their identity on both sides of the ball. The Lions, they're just flowing. So maybe right now, or in the future when the Eagles get it going, I'll put them above there. But right now, the Lions, they're just the more physical team for one, and they just know what they're doing.
And I just don't know what else the hell we're supposed to be talking about. There's been 6 weeks played in the NFL season.
And they
the
won
Lions
5
are
of them.
5-1.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 6 weeks played in this NFL
But
season.
this dude just
not
called
last
up
year.
saying they're the NFC champs. They're winning the NFC.
Yeah, he's
He,
right.
he
His
can be
prediction.
confident in that.
And
And
I
I'm
get
saying
that,
right now, in
but
your
I'm not
power
an
rankings-
asshole for putting them number 2 behind
you
the
are.
guys.
Yes, you are.
All right.
You're a pure
No,
asshole.
you're not.
All right.
You're not. You're
All
not,
right.
If you
you're not
would've-
an a-hole, Anson. You're not an a-hole.
Anson, if you would have said just I think they're the better
You're an
roster
idiot.
this year, that's
But-
fine. But the holding on to the NFC Championship win from last year.
Dude, you can't take the crown off the team that's the same record as you that won it last year. I'm sorry.
Yes,
This
you
is a
can.
team-
So if-
when was the last time we were in the playoffs? We have zero experience
What does
from
that-
the top to the bottom.
What does that have to do
It
with
has to
6
do-
weeks of the regular season that we've just watched play?
Because this man just called up, said they're winning the NFC. That's what I'm addressing.
And I'm saying they're the number 1 team in the NFC
Okay,
right
I'm
now.
saying they're the number 2.
All
Attack
right,
me,
guys.
call me an asshole for that. My bad.
That's
All right,
okay.
asshole.
We're good. We're good. Hey, thank you for joining
You've been
Woodward
on some
Sports.
shit today,
We'll see you-
Stick.
we'll see
I'm
you
glad
guys.
your ass lost in the Dynasty League.
We'll see you guys in the playoffs. Thanks
Man.
for joining
Yeah,
us.
yeah, we're not allowed to talk
Yeah,
about how
we're
well
not
the
allowed.
Lions are doing. Sorry,
Okay, guys.
Anson said so.
Let's reload those
gotta
phones.
go.
We got a couple lines open. 313-552-6322. Kool-Aid. Who do we have next?
Hey, look, we got AJ Washington from Detroit West Side.
Oh, AJ, welcome in to Metro Detroit's Woodward Sports. What's happening?
Man, first off, it's such a great day that
It
we
is.
are
Yes, it
arguing
is.
about being number 1 and arguing about playoff victories
Thank
right
you.
now. We've never thought that we would be here, so shout out Dan Campbell, shout out everybody. But my particular statement is something that we're going to have to address. It's for strong people like Mass. It's for strong
Thank you, AJ.
people who said stuff like maybe we should draft a Willis last year. It's for people like that.
Oh, thanks.
So now, sorry, I switched that.
AJ,
Sorry, I pushed that on you, man.
AJ, I can't
I'm
hear
sorry,
you. I
bro.
can't
He
hear
had
you.
as many completions as he was sacked
I
today.
think, I think we lost
I'm
AJ.
sorry.
We lost
Could you
AJ.
imagine if the Lions passed on Aiden Hutchinson for Malik Willis?
Okay, listen to me.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
listen to me. I made a mistake. Get off my ass. He sucks.
So let me be
okay. I
Let me be
understand.
very fast. Let
Okay.
me be very fast.
Oh, boy.
So here's the thing. This is something that we're going to have to address.
Shut up.
Do
Stick.
we give Goff a contract right now?
Yep.
I don't- if he
Goff
asks-
deserve a
that last
contract?
post.
I guess if he asks AJ, maybe I would sit down with him. I think, honestly, I believe that they're all on the same page. I think Jared Goff he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's winning games. He's looking terrific. QBR over 105 every week. Maybe 1 week he was a little bit under that. Besides that, it's all going to work itself out. He'll get a contract once the Lions win the NFC North and win a playoff game or 2 or 3. He'll get his deal. So do not worry. I don't think you have to sign him yet. That's my opinion.
I've been saying sign him since April. You ask the heavyweights. I mean, what is the biggest factor in non-success in the football? In NFL, it's change. Okay, we talked about this last week. Outside of Montana and Young and the boys from the Packers, there's basically no team that's had sustained success and then switch to a new quarterback and maintain that success. The Lions have to bring him back and do it now. Do it now.
Hey, by the way, we have a $10 kick-in from Burn, so I got to read it.
Bet.
Here we go. Why is Anson?
Maz is a whore. You pay $10.
Why is Anson afraid of being good? We're waiting on the front porch, Anson.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Burn.
Why are you guys so desperate to make them number one when they haven't even been in the playoffs for how many years?
Listen, guys, Anson is hurt.
I'm not hurt. I'm excited. I'm happy.
He's dated the Lions his entire life, and they've gone behind his back. They've let him down.
They've cheated on him.
Put me in a chastity belt, bro.
They've spit on him when he didn't want him.
They
called me Andrea.
They held out sex.
And now they're looking good. They're playing good. They're making Anson feel good. He just doesn't trust him yet, guys. And he'll get there. And this is going to be the journey for a lot of
I swear it's
doubtful
different
Lions
this
fans.
time.
Yeah,
they've changed.
This is it. He's hurt. He doesn't believe they've changed yet. And there's a lot of Lions fans out there like Anson. And this doesn't mean he's not a fan. Anson is a bigger fan than I am.
He's a great fan.
He really is. His fandom rivals mine.
He wouldn't be here if he wasn't.
He's been hurt, and I get over it a little bit easier. Anson is still hanging on from the time the girl kissed another guy in 4th grade.
I'm still picking you up off the floor from the Tucker field goal, bro.
Hey, man, I don't even remember. That was years ago.
Distant memory.
That was years ago.
Very distant memory.
But I know there's a lot of Lions fans out there that are scared. They're scared to commit again.
Well, no, they're scared that they don't believe their eyes. Like when I'm watching this team, most games this year, I can't believe that that's my team.
Right.
Like, it really affected me. It hit me. It was a Thursday night against the Packers, and I'm looking, and they're dominating. And I'm like, that's not my team. It can't be my team.
Let me clarify
something. And then they keep it going. They keep it going, Anson. Now they go into Tampa Bay. I'm like, okay, they're on the road now for 2 straight. This is where they're going to fall. No. They killed them.
So
46 yards rushing. 46 yards rushing, under 300 yards of total offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're it, man. This is your team. This is our team. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, no, and listen, let me clarify.
You can love again, Anson. You can love again.
I love this team. I love the way they look. I am so infatuated with the culture change.
Put yourself out there.
But my big thing is if we're going to hold this team to a higher standard, we have, as fans, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah.
I need to see something I have never seen before.
And
period.
And every game
and
this
that's
season,
an NFC championship.
Every game this season, we're seeing something we've never seen before. Like the Lions putting up 20 consecutive points for 12 straight games.
15.
That's something we've never seen before.
Yeah. Yep.
So like
winning by double digits.
Winning by double digits, going on the road like
beating ass.
These are things that I've never seen before. So that's why I'm already convinced. That's why I'm already because I've seen things that I've never seen before already.
Sure.
That's why I'm all in. And I put my ass on the line on this network for Jared Goff early on, and he's making me look like a fucking genius. So I love that too.
Listen to me. I was 8 months old when the Lions won 13 out of 16 games. I was 8 months old, 1962. That's another thing that they've done. They have won 13 of 16 games, and their losses was on Thanksgiving. They should never have lost that game to Buffalo. Forget the Carolina game. That was crap. And then the Seattle game at the beginning of this year, they pissed it away. They pissed it away. Abby, I can't talk to you right now, honey.
Was that when they lost 5-0 to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs?
That was 1970, going into the 71 Super Bowl 5. They almost made Super Bowl 5.
How brutal would that have been?
5-0 at Dallas.
5-0.
At Dallas. Back to the phone lines we go, guys. 313-552-6322. What Anson hater is on the line right now?
Hey,
Kool-Aid.
You called it. Listen, David from Seattle, he said he wants to call in about Stoke not scared, especially for Anson.
Yeah, get him fired up, Seattle. Let's go.
David, let's go, man. You're on Woodward Sports. He's all yours.
This is Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a big fan of all the Woodward Sports.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
I was transplanted in Seattle because of the military. But anyway,
thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I just wanted D-Mac to go over to Anson and smack him up by the head, make him Stoke not scared.
Hey,
because I've been brokenhearted so many times. I've been a fan since Billy Sims was drafted.
Great uniforms back then.
That was my first favorite Lion.
He would have been really spectacular had he not gotten injured. Spectacular.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was Billy Sims versus Tony Dorsett, me and my brother in the front yard, man.
That was awesome, man. Hey, thanks for the call, David. We appreciate it. Yep. Who else you got there, Kool-Aid?
We got Aaron from Grand Rapids.
Aaron, let's go down to Grand Rapids.
West side.
You're on Woodward Sports with Stick, Anson, and Maz and the rest of the gang. What's up, man? Grand Rapids, hello.
Caller.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
There
he
we
is.
go.
Just in time.
What do you got, bud?
Dude, fellas, real quick.
Yeah.
I got two things. I got two things for you.
Go ahead.
When was the last time we had a fucking shutdown corner like we do in Kansas City?
Never. I mean, Dre Bly was probably the closest.
This dude is not getting
for a year.
He is excellent.
Ty Fair, maybe Brian Westbrook. I mean, I'm going back in time here, but like legitimately, this dude his name is never being called, and that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like his name is never called.
You know
that's
what
because he's shutting down.
Yep. You know what we said during we had the watch party. I don't know if you had the watch party on. When we had the watch party on, we all said, "Hey, thank you, Pittsburgh.
Yes,
thank you for letting Cam Sutton come to Detroit." You hit it on the head, man. He is the leader back there. He is the Mac Daddy of that secondary. And Tracy Walker was a missile today.
Okay, well, I couldn't be more with you. And then, like, honestly, my other point, like, I've been watching this team for 25 years. I'm 38. I'll turn 39 end of the month. And I can't tell you the last time I saw a defense where, like, I'm not that nervous anymore. Like, I just know, I have this confidence in me that's like, we got this. Like, we're okay. Like, I know my dudes back there are going to get a stop. And they do. And it is just like, it's just so different.
It reminds me of that one viral video that's like, I'm not gay anymore. You guys have all seen that. That's how I feel about the line. I'm not scared anymore.
Right?
That's a good call, man.
I'm just like so with it.
It's a good
call.
call.
With it, and I'm so here for the team. Like, the guys, seriously, like, I like caught you just the right time. I'm about to have a victory soak. I'm about to have a bath and just like relish this fucking win.
That's awesome, man. Enjoy it, buddy.
Guys. I had to turn my water off because I got you on speaker.
Like, bubbles or no bubbles?
You got the Mr. Bubbles going?
Oh, bubbles for sure.
Oh, bubbles for sure.
All right. Enjoy it,
I'm
buddy.
a Lulu Blue bath bomb over there.
Yeah,
I love it.
If you're going to take a bath, you got to use the bubbles.
I think we should get a Hollywood or a Woodward blue ball there.
Woodward blue balls?
Bath ball.
Yeah,
I got those.
Woodward blue balls.
I got those.
Lucas, you want to try a video again?
Yep. And then if there's any issues, I'll send it right back to us.
All right.
Listen, I can't say enough about our defensive performance today, and really, really for 5 games this year.
Dan Campbell
with you. I mean,
playing with his hair.
Aaron Glenn's doing a hell of a job with that staff, and our players have bought in.
That's back to us.
So we're going to Baltimore next week, right?
Yeah.
And that's a game that scares me because if looking at this game today, if Baker Mayfield had the ability and the speed to actually get out of the pocket on a lot of those broken down plays, that's something that I want to see the Lions take their next step in evolution to be able to shut down.
That's the one thing that I think traditionally Dan Campbell has struggled against is a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
That's his team. I mean, that's why Geno Smith did what Geno Smith has done to us the past two times they play. But Patrick Mahomes, first game of the season, they were able to contain pretty well.
Yep.
Jordan Love, not a super mobile quarterback, but mobile enough. They were able to contain him.
I'm happy the Ravens won today because I didn't want them coming in with like a 2-game losing streak. So they got their win. They're coming back from London. That's jet lag.
Yep.
They're coming back from London. So this whole week they're going to be a little off kilter. The Lions could definitely take advantage of that. Hell, they're going to Baltimore.
Well, it might be just another. Might be a home game for the Lions again, man.
It will be.
I got people sending me videos. I heard it before the game. The Buccaneers were getting booed as they were coming out, man.
Well, you could hear the first possession when Laporta caught the ball. The crowd was loud as hell on the TV.
It is. It's phenomenal. It's the blue wave, it's led by the crack man, Ron Cracchiola, and it's phenomenal. Lion fans are really showing out this year.
Well, and the irony is Lions fans have never had to spend money ever to go to away games. So, like, if you've been a Lions fan for 40 years and you save $10 a year, you have $400 to go down and watch the Lions play in Tampa Bay. Like, nobody's used to spending this type of money going to see them. I've been to one Lions away game, and that was at JFK against Washington like 3-4 years ago, and they lost that game. It was still fun, but the Lions fans are taking over stadiums, and not just any stadiums, like stadiums of first-place teams, stadiums of ring night for the Super Bowl. And then you're going to Green Bay and taking over to the point where they have to send out messages like, hey, quit selling tickets if you have tickets, and don't sell them to Lions fans. I remember going to Lions games at Ford Field and feeling like an asshole because there'd be more 49ers fans there, or there'd be more Green Bay fans there. I don't think that's going to happen
Remember
anymore.
that pregame we had a couple of years ago downtown?
Oh, yeah.
Against the Niners, and the Niner fans were like walking up and down the street. It looked like we were in San Francisco.
It was all
for
red.
a minute.
Well,
it was.
Yeah, it was all red.
Hey, we got another $10 coming in. Let's see if he's going after our man Anson. No, he's not. But he is saying, hey, big dog, when is Josh Reynolds going to get some love from the Lions Nation? He's been one of the most underrated players this year. I think that we guys here, We've taken care of Josh Reynolds. I love him.
And I always make the point that the Lions got significantly better
the moment
he showed up.
That changed everything.
Everything. Like Goff, that first part of the season when they went, what was it, 3-1 and
he was uncomfortable. He never
3-13
didn't have that security blanket. You know, he didn't know who Amon-Ra was, and when he got that familiarity with him in Reynolds, it just changed his whole level of confidence, and the offense came with him.
And Reynolds is a dog. The way that dude blocks, he had some great blocks today, too. And
great teammate.
That's how you get more love from this coaching staff, doing those little dirty work things.
Hey, $5 from Eric Bergstrom. Here we go. Lions aren't even putting the number one team out there. No Branch, no CJ, Mosley, Gibbs, and keep on going. So, come on with the other team injuries. Forget about those other team injuries. The Lions got those injuries. We go back to the phone lines and go to Kool-Aid. Who do you have for us, Kool-Aid?
Look, we got John all the way from Alaska.
Oh, we got John in Alaska. Let's see, what time is it here? It's 8 o'clock here. What is it, noon over there or something like that?
We've had Hawaii call in. We got Alaska.
That's amazing. What time is it in Alaska?
Man, it's 4.
4 o'clock. Okay, so it's a 4-hour difference. Okay. So. Hey, man, welcome in.
Yeah. Man, yeah, dude, another gritty win. Like, they're stacking these, and that's what I like. It's like they're competing, and they're always competing, and it's like we're just coming out on the other side of it. And it's like, even if these games are double digits, it still feels like a gritty win. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. They're holding teams.
I don't think you can count this team out.
That's a big point there. This team has never been out of a game this season.
No.
And you know, there isn't that worry of like, oh, they're going to let them back in. Like, I didn't think they were going to let them back in this game at all.
I'm still just worried about that. Like, that's where my Lions PTSD comes in, like, during the game. I'm never comfortable till there's all zeros on the clock. Like, that's
but
where
didn't you feel
I'm
comfortable
still
in the fourth quarter? Really, they imposed their will.
Not just 2 scores. So when they kicked the field goal and didn't get a touchdown to go up 3 scores, I was worried. I'm always worried.
My thing is with that is, like, I understand, but I think we could be comfortable with this Lions team when Baker Mayfield is on the other side with 2 touchdowns going. He hasn't scored a single one. I understand. That's where I think
I
that's
saw
still
Sam
that's some of your
Darnold light
pain.
us up his rookie
That's
year.
that's some of your pain, Stick.
Exactly. And my pain is in game, and then after game, I'm like, holy shit, they won. They're 5-1. This is real. But during the game, you will never catch me being like, yeah, we got this. Yeah. Well, it'll be a 30-point game. No. You saw what happened to the Falcons in the Super Bowl. What's that?
Will there ever be a point where you think you'll be able to get over that?
I hope so. I honestly hope. I don't like sitting here feeling that way. I am never fully committed to the win until they actually won, because I've seen it happen so many damn times. But they're making me feel better. Every week I get a little bit better. We have a little bit more lax conversations during the fourth quarter. But no, if you're only up 2 scores in the NFL, I am not comfortable.
Hey, the Lost Angels on the chat. $5. He says, we got to give J-Mo some love. He got all that hate, and he showed out today.
Yeah.
Wasn't many catches, but a very important one.
Redemption touchdown was huge.
Huge catch. That was a momentum shifter, like a punch in the knockout.
That was a kill.
Yes.
Third quarter,
Kill shot.
Lions this year have sucked in the third quarter. Not this time. Not this time.
Yeah.
They kind of took it away. They kind of took it away from the Bucs starting in that third quarter, and I think that J-Mo touchdown really kind of broke their back.
It was the backbreaker for sure. So can I nitpick?
Yeah.
I noticed something interesting today.
Can you nitpick?
That's your middle name.
Which was them taking your boy Jack Fox off of kickoffs. So I did a little research. Last year he averaged 71.4% touchback rate. He's down to 55% this year, and they pulled him off of it. Now Patterson wasn't great. He only kicked 1 touchback. However, the Bucs basically started before the 25-yard line almost all game long because of that. Is that something we're going to see going forward? Is Jack Fox lost his kickoff duties?
As long as he's our punter, I don't care.
For sure.
I'm
surprised that it happened.
Off?
You know?
Yeah. No,
I never even noticed that.
I wish I had a better answer for you, but yeah, I didn't even notice it. And now you see why they don't use Riley Patterson often, though. I mean, that field goal in the beginning of the third
52
quarter.
yards. It's just not him.
Yeah.
He's 43.
So do you rather them punt or go for it in those situations?
It depends on what is it? Fourth and what?
Okay.
Depends on the situation.
If it's under 4th and 5, and
go for it.
I'll go for it.
So I started off with nitpicking. Now I want to ask the bombshell.
Uh-oh.
And this is something we are not used to, friends, at home and here in Woodward.
I know what you're going to say.
Are the Lions in a position to trade future draft picks to cement this roster with guys like Brian Burns, somebody along those lines, another receiver or another lineman to be able to get more pressure? We've never talked about this because the Lions have never been that team who's,
buyers. They've never been buyers.
Exactly. So are we buyers right now, gentlemen?
I think so, but I just don't know where you're improving right now. Like, they're clicking on all levels. Do you just bring in another guy for the sake of change? I mean, Brian Burns would be a great guy, but what do you got to give up to get him? Because I saw that trade earlier in the week. Someone suggested J-Mo and something else to get him. Because then CJ Stroud would have his favorite wide receiver from college, and it would all work out for both teams. A, I ain't giving up J-Mo. Never giving up J-Mo. And B, is that going to make that big of a difference? Would that take us from 5-1 to 6-1?
Listen,
or
man,
6-0?
Listen, I just don't think these guys. I don't think Brad Holmes and his staff. They're not into it. They're not into it.
I like that.
I just don't think they're into it. Last week when we lost, who did we lose in the secondary last week?
Mosley.
When Mosley went down, this week we're like, we're going to bring in a free agent corner, a free agent safety. They brought in a guy from Baltimore, practice squad player, just for depth. And they bring in a couple other guys and they elevate them. That's what they do. They want their kind of guys. They don't want other people's guys. They don't. At least that's the way I look at it.
I almost feel filthy saying this, but it's very Patriot-esque where the Lions are right now.
Yep.
You can bring in a guy that fills your system. You don't have to bring in a guy that blows you off the chart in any specific area. They know what type of guy.
Yep.
They know what they need to fulfill this spot in the system. And those guys are easier to find.
Yeah.
It really is. They can pull guys from the practice squad. They can pull guys from other teams' trash and make them into good players like the Patriots used to do.
Yeah.
And
with 5th and 6th
because
round
of Fat
picks,
Patricia,
you know?
I hate saying like the Patriots because I never wanted to be the Patriots.
You know why the Eagles are losing, right? They're not looking at themselves.
They got Fat Patricia?
They got Patricia there.
Yeah.
Back to the phone lines we go, Kool-Aid. Who do you have on Woodward Sports?
You know what? August from Nashville. He said he wants to talk about Sam Laporta, or I guess Sam Lagoda.
Oh, Lagoda. What's up, August? You're on Woodward Sports, man. Welcome in.
Lagoda. Yo, what's up, guys? I'm
What's
a
up?
bit of a younger caller. I'm only 19.
All right.
But I've also had my fair share of heartbreak with the Lions. But I tell you, when I see Sam Laporta, he's just like an elevated version of T.J. Hawkinson. But I'm a little concerned. Like some of the drops he had today, I'm just curious what y'all's take is on how he's going to continue performing throughout the year this year.
August, I don't think he wasn't 100% all week. He had a calf injury, but he played through it. He was questionable coming into this game. I was happy he got out there. I'm just going to say he had I'll give him his worst day so far, but it was still good enough for 4 catches and almost 50 yards.
His hands weren't injured, but he was a little bit of La Drapa today. I don't think we're going to see much of that ever again from him.
Yeah, I don't even like you coining that phrase.
Don't ever say
that.
Yeah, that's we can't have that.
Don't.
We can't have that. We're already fighting too many enemies. We can't do that to ourselves.
Thanks, August.
But my second thing, this is the bigger kind of concern, is we've been hunting for so long, right? And now we're finally at the position. And Dan Campbell says, "You are not going to have to look far. We'll be right at your door." But are these guys going to have some doubt now that they really do have a target on their back? I've never seen that before, so I'm curious. I'm a little worried in terms of that because that's crucial to our culture, to be the hunters.
Yeah, I wish I could hear you, but our cleaning lady decides to. You're all good.
I heard you plenty, August. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all.
And Dan Campbell addressed that.
Yeah.
He had one of the best quotes of all time with it. He said, "Look, if you're
gotta
hunting,
come far.
you don't got to come far. We're on your front porch." And that's the mentality, because that's something that we discussed on this postgame show early in this season. Is the Lions have to adjust their mindset now, and they don't care, man. They will street fight anybody anywhere.
I love it, man. It's a great feeling to be rooting for this team. I love where they're at. Let's go in. We've got to get you all in here on the Lions post-game. Lions 20-6 winners over the Buccaneers. Kool-Aid, who's up next here on Woodward Sports?
Look, this was kind of funny. It's Andrew from Kansas. He says he's a teacher and he's been talking smack to all his kids.
Chiefs fan.
So, what's up, Andrew?
Andrew, what's up, man? Welcome on.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I moved out here about 12 years ago, right? And I've been repping Detroit since day one. People talking smack to me, oh, Detroit, so I was like, you don't know what it's about, being from Detroit, repping the D and all that stuff, So these kids, though, they're all like, oh, the Lions suck, and after beating Kansas City, I had all these kids that have been talking smack to me for the last couple years, having to wear Lion stuff, right? Yes. So
I love it.
I got a picture taken with them, right? And so I'm gonna get it put in the yearbook, so it's in there forever.
Attaboy. That's how you toughen those kids up, Andrew.
I got it all in my class, or in my. I'm a PE teacher, so I got it all in my office.
Oh, great job.
Each day, come Monday, I tell them, I'm like, for the last couple of years, I'm like, get on the train. And now I'm like, hey, guys, the train's leaving. The train has left, dog, so you ain't going to be able to get on now,
The train left week one.
And that's the thing. And they're all like, oh, they suck. And I'm over here just pumping my chest up each new week, more and more. But and then on top of that, though, all these road games that the Lions fans are taking over, there's so many of us that have moved out of the state,
Yep.
And we want to cheer for the Lions. We want to be there to support them. And sometimes that's the only way. Like I went to the Cowboys game last year to Dallas. I went to that, and I'm planning on going to that one again this year. And there were so many Lions fans there last year too,
Well, yeah, we talked about that earlier in the season too, because when I started working in Detroit media, Detroit was market number 7 in
Yep.
the entire country. Market number 7.
I'm right
And,
with you.
It goes New York, it goes Chicago, and
LA.
then LA. Like, those are your top 3 that have been top 3 forever. But Detroit was 7.
Yep.
Now Detroit's 14 or 16.
Is it that low?
It's that low now.
I thought it was 11th.
No.
Wow.
It fell out of it.
And that's just because there's not as many people
and
here
that's
as it used to be.
because of the mass exodus of population. Like the population in the Detroit proper used to be over 2 million.
Right.
Now it's about 600,000.
Wow.
So 1.4 million have moved out of the city. And then you talk about the 3-county metro around there, and it's the same thing. So yeah, there are Detroit transplants all over this country that have been kicked around and really maybe patted on the head and kind of made inferior. Like whenever you tell so, oh, you're a Lions fan, that's okay. Oh, nobody ever really hated the Lions.
It's because they were nothing.
How can you feel bad for somebody who roots for a team that sucks so bad,
Of
right?
course.
Like, oh, you poor soul. But now they're about to hear it, and there'll be a time when we become the annoying fan.
Yeah, and you just got to embrace it.
Yeah.
You just got to embrace it because the whole lot, even me, man, as we talked about earlier, I've only been alive for 20 years.
I know.
I don't know the whole SOL curse.
No, you don't.
But through these 20 years, I have not had one season to cheer for. Not one. So you can bet your ass that when I have something to cheer for about the Lions, whether it's this season or a decade from now, you're not going to hear the end of it because we have not heard the end of it from Stephen A. Smith, from all the guys on ESPN, NFL Network, NBC, Ryan Fitzpatrick on Amazon Prime.
Not all. We got Orlovsky.
We got Orlovsky.
We got Louis Riddick.
We got the ball knowers on our
Yes.
side, but all the other ones, man, they haven't given us a lick of respect.
All right, Kool-Aid, who do we have next on Woodward Sports?
We got AT&T Jeff from Marysville.
Oh, AT&T Jeff, that's my guy. Is
my
this
guy.
Jeff Hall? Jeff Hall, you're on Woodward Sports. What's up, my friend?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Jeff is a huge Lions fan. This guy, and he wants to come to a watch party. He didn't come today because he said he had a little bit of cold. He didn't want to infect anyone here in the studio.
We appreciate
That's the kind of guy that Jeff Hall is.
Yeah. I do want to spread some fever, but I want to spread some Lions fever.
Let's go,
man.
Jeff. Let's go.
Hey, real quick. We gotta, we always talk about same old Lions. I want you guys to think about something. Going back to who's the best team in the NFC. It's time for fans to quit being same old Lions fans. We gotta shoot for Super Bowl this year, and that's gotta be the goal.
Agreed.
We're the NFC right now. And by the way, we're probably going to lose a coordinator at the end of this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I hope they overpay him and he stays.
Yeah, this may be our window, Maz.
Yep.
Right now, we're the best team in the NFC.
That's right.
And we have got to go out every week, and we got to support these guys. But at the end of the day, we got to get out it. When you're losing, it's easy to have those little arguments about, well, Barry's better than Emmett, because that's all we got. Right now, we got a great football team. It's got double-digit wins 3 weeks in a row. There is no place that I'm worried about the Detroit Lions going to, because I think they can beat anybody right now.
I agree, man. I honestly, I've got the confidence, and I know you do.
Yeah, I honestly feel that the only way the Lions lose is if they beat themselves.
Which they did against Seattle.
And that's exactly that's the only reason. And they lost a coin flip. And Dan Campbell tucked his nuts between his legs for one of the first times that he's ever done that as a head coach.
Instead of going for the touchdown in regulation.
Yeah. It happened last
They had him on the
night.
ropes.
It happened last night with Oregon, too. That coach did not even take a shot at the end zone.
Yep.
And then
they paid for
then
it.
his kicker
Don't
came
put it
out
on
and
your
botched
kicker.
it.
Don't put it on your kicker.
Just give yourself. It's like blackjack, Even though your dealer's showing 16 and you're showing a 6, you got to hit to give yourself a chance, or a 5. You got to hit. You got to hit. You just got to go for it. And Dan Campbell didn't do it. But the thing you love about Dan Campbell, even dating back to last year, is his ability to learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't see him repeat a lot of stupid things. Maybe some challenge flags is the only thing I've seen him repeat.
He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it when the game's on the line. He doesn't do it when the game's on the line yet.
Yeah.
He did it in the first half last week, so it was okay.
And
we overcame it, and we beat the hell out of that team.
And let's not be lost on that, too, that we're watching the evolution of Dan Campbell, too.
Yeah.
Like they say when parents have kids, they're
getting better.
learning how to be parents, too. He's still learning how to be a head coach. He's still learning about clock management. We know he's a master motivator, but the X's and O's are coming along along insanely well. The clock management is coming along pretty well. The in-game decisions, he's not putting them in a lot of back against the wall places. So watching the evolution of Dan Campbell has been something pretty special to watch too.
Hey, we got a couple more on the line here, Anson. Let's get him in. Thanks for the call, Jeff. Back to the phone lines we go. Kool-Aid, who do you have for us on the post game?
We have Jackson from Houghton, Michigan.
Jackson from Houghton, Michigan. You're on with Stick, Anson, and Maz. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
We hear you. What do you got for us?
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a few things I got to say. First off, I just want to thank everyone down at Woodward Sports, man. You guys are the best. I've been getting back into football for the first time since, like, back when we were in the playoffs, man, with Megatron, man. And you guys, you're just up there. Cream the crop. I watch you guys any day over any of those dumb talking heads down at ESPN and Fox. Any day. First place I tune into every single time with Woodward Sports. No doubt about it.
Check is in the mail. Thank you.
Right? Anyway, so I just want to put this into perspective. This, my opinion, I was talking with my pops. He was born back in '63.
Okay.
And he said this is the best Lions team he's seen in 50 years, hell, since Bobby Lane.
Look at that.
Right? And I just, it's in the air, and I get it. And look, I feel it a little bit too. I'm a little nervous. I am. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit. But let's look at what we had. Amon-Ra played for 2 games today. He had to make up for what he lost last week, right? Goff, he's the rock. He's the rock right now. Defense is next man up. So is offense. That's like not even half. That's less than half the teams in the league right now. Mainly, what I'm worried about right now is J-Mo. Are we ready to give him his flowers? Man, I don't know. That play he had though, that was amazing.
He needed that. He needed that.
Perfect. We needed that. If we didn't get that, I don't know how I'd be feeling right now. But right now, I'm feeling good. Not to mention Craig Reynolds with that block, trying to get Amon into the dude.
Yeah.
Are we just not going to talk about that? That was beautiful right there. I swear to you.
It certainly was. It was gorgeous, as they say.
I'm going to search for that on Pornhub because it's going to be special. Like, I'm going to watch that. And that block is. We started the show off with it. Like, that's the personification of what this Detroit Lions team is.
Out of
nowhere, just a guy that comes out of nowhere as well. You know, I'm not talking about
running back.
A third-string running back that made the roster, that the whole freaking team is rooting for last game to get his first touchdown.
Out of Coos Town.
But let me say this
take
now.
this deep breath.
All right, let me say something.
Oh God.
They need another running back.
Yeah,
they need another running back. Now listen, listen to me.
Damn it.
I'm the guy here. I've been bitching since day one. You know what I'm going to bring up? How nice would it have been,
Uncle Lenny,
to have?
Don't you say no, man.
How nice would it have been to have DeAndre Swift on this team? I don't give a shit what you say.
Did you
I
see?
I don't care.
He was terrible today.
I don't give a shit.
He had a touchdown,
I don't care.
man.
If they had him, I just think it was a pride thing. I really do. I think it was, I'm going to put my balls on the table here. This guy, he doesn't want to be here.
He doesn't have that dog in him.
He was a terrific running back.
You watched Hard Knocks last year.
He couldn't stay on the field. That's why he lost his job to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
No.
But listen to me. If they had kept him, he is playing on a rookie contract that costs you nothing. And he's playing for a next contract. He could have been here.
You're missing.
And then you're
missing
still using
the bigger
Craig
picture.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
No, I'm not missing the bigger picture.
I got to agree with Stick on this one.
I'm not missing it.
You're
I
missing
don't give a damn what you guys tell me that he'd be a
Addition
malcontent.
by subtraction.
He wasn't a malcontent. He never
I'm not
was
saying he was
a malcontent.
You can have a guy that's just a fucking downer and is not a malcontent.
They would have pumped him
brings
up.
down the room.
This team would have.
You saw Deuce Staley trying to pump him up last year during Hard Knocks, telling him you could be the best running back in the league, and what the dude sit there like he was just like,
I'd rather sign Uncle Lenny right now.
No.
Get Fournette out there. You know what I'm saying?
He's 400 pounds.
I have no problem with Swift gone.
Swift was not a culture
guy. We are a
guy.
5-1 team without Swift.
I know.
He was not a Dan Campbell guy.
You're running out of depth, guys. As much as we got depth, we had depth. It catches up to you eventually.
It does, Maz, but it's just It's one of those things where it's like
I don't know how you can argue.
We had the same depth this year as we did last year.
You lose Swift, injury-riddled player. You replace him with Jahmyr Gibbs right now, who he probably could have went out there today if he really wanted to. Like, you could tell on the way of the sideline, like, he was kind of disgusted when DeMont got hurt. He's going to be back during healthier games. Like, you can go trade. Like, Delvin Cook's being shopped right now for the Jets. There's tons of guys that Brad Holmes can go and get. And not to mention, DeAndre Swift at some point would have been a distraction if you still draft him.
What makes people think he would have been a distraction?
Because
I just want to know.
Because of his little dick energy, man.
You took a pick with the number 12 pick when Jahmyr Gibbs was a very similar skill set with DeAndre Swift. They would be eating each other's touches. They have the same uses, but Jahmyr's a better athlete.
But have you watched Swift during these games? I mean, his energy is so awful.
It's low.
It's from up and down all the time. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
These guys knew the most important thing in Detroit was to get rid of the old culture and to establish a new one. He did not fit
prima
with
donnas
what they
on
like
the team.
to do.
No prima donnas on
No
the team.
thanks.
And honestly, I love DeAndre Swift coming out of college at Georgia. I thought he was the most talented running back in that class, which included J.K. Dobbins, which included Jonathan Taylor, which included Akers. That was an exceptional running back class coming out. And I thought Swift, we got him as a steal in the second round. But last year really sold me on he's not that dude. When we were watching Hard Knocks and Deuce Staley was pumping him up more than anybody I've ever seen pump up anybody in the world, and the guy just sat there flat on his ass with like a half smirk, like he didn't believe
no part of it.
No, he doesn't want to be the best running back in the league.
That's the deal. And whether he's a plague in the locker room or not,
he's not.
He wants the ball like a superstar, but he doesn't have the composure or the the personality of one. But they could tell he wasn't fitting with this team.
Right.
I think the same thing was with Hawkinson. The moment he was jettisoned, you saw him running his mouth. They got rid of guys that could play. They got something for them. They were not part of the culture in Detroit.
And Hawkinson was a money thing. You saw how much he signed for. No, you saw how much he signed for.
Sure.
That would kill this Lions team.
100%.
And what is missed a lot of times with Brad Holmes and what he's done drafting is what he had to do with the salary cap when he got here. The Lions were in salary cap hell with nobody on the roster that you would even want to re-sign. And now we got salary cap. And he's done the right things by getting rid of a Hawkinson because I can't pay this guy golf money. We just can't. It's going to fracture the team.
Just my opinion. My opinion. All right, I'll go down.
Fair enough,
I'll go down with the ship on this one. Okay, I'll go down with the ship.
Are there any other running backs that are out there that you would rather have?
There's nobody here.
Wait a second.
There's nobody out there that you can get.
There's Leonard Fournette.
Lenny Fournette had 80 catches just 2 years
Come on,
ago.
man.
The guy up and
He's
down
all
through the
done.
middle. You'd rather have Reynolds than him?
No, I wanted DeAndre Swift, but he ain't here. So we're shit out of luck. That's all there is to it. Yeah, that's all there is to it. You better hope Montgomery ain't that hurt. That's all I got to say.
I agree with that.
You better hope he ain't that hurt. Because next week, the Ravens aren't going to be blocking the box.
You know what?
They're going to be blocking Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the receivers.
You know what Fournette does have? Playoff experience.
I've had enough of you.
I don't know if I'm sold on Leonard Fournette, but there are tons of running backs.
Who would you sign,
you can
Lukas?
go out. I would go and get Delvin Cook right now.
He stinks.
No.
Delvin Cook
he's
behind
finished.
this offensive line would look
He's
amazing.
Finished. He's finished.
In the NFC North, where he's played against all three of these teams numerous times, a guy with playoff experience, Delvin Cook would be perfect for what you need. You put him behind Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. He would be amazing.
You know what? I got an idea that would make Maz happy.
He'd be an upgrade from what we have. I'll give you that.
Well, let's go out and get Malik Willis and move him to running back.
Malik Willis can't even run. I saw him today. I almost threw up. What he
4
did today, I almost threw up.
4 completions.
He was horrible.
Sacked 4 times.
Not only that, they're driving for a touchdown. They have no timeouts. There's nowhere to go. He's on the 5-yard line. Instead of stepping out of bounds, he ran back another 10 yards. I was done with him today. I'm done with Malik Willis as of today. Let's go around the room. Next week, will the Lions go to 6-1 as they play the Ravens? Anson.
Ooh. This game scares me heavy, man. And
see if you can find the spread for next week.
I'm going to be the only guy that says the Lions lose this game. I don't want them to. I love the Lions, but are the Lions going to go 16-1? There's losses on this schedule, and their biggest weakness that I've seen so far this year is containing a running quarterback. They're on the road. It's one of the best defenses. If we are hurt, we don't have Montgomery, it's going to be a tough-ass game. So I am, text me and tell me you hate me. Lions, I'm worried.
Okay, Luke, you're up next. Will the Lions be 6-1 after the Ravens game?
I'm gonna go with no. And I would happily be proven wrong, but I'm with Anson on this one. The Lions are not going to go 16-1. It's not going to happen. On the road, with DeMont banged up, Jahmyr Gibbs isn't going to be 100% either, even if he's coming off this injury. They're going to lose one, and I think this would be a team. They struggle against mobile quarterbacks. If there's a team that I'm okay with losing to this year, and one that I could see it happening and not get too pissed off about, it would 100% be the Baltimore Ravens.
Kool-Aid, what's your talk here?
Look, I would say what they're saying makes sense. If the Lions this year didn't look the way that they did, man, they found a way to just continue to overcome every situation that I've seen them previously losing. And I think that they're mad at that Seattle game. I think that they're mad that they let Geno Smith kind of do what he did. I got to pick the Lions.
So you're going with the Lions to win at Baltimore next week? They're probably going to be like, I'd say, a 3.5 point underdog. That would be my first spread put out. But spread doesn't mean anything.
I wonder what Stick thinks.
Stick, what do you got?
Hey! Forward down the field, kicking the Ravens in the dick. Justin Tucker's gonna get it back, and we gonna whip that ass. Lions by 30, bitches.
Oh, shit.
Until proven otherwise. It'll be a tough game.
Stick and Anson.
I got the Lions, baby.
Stick,
I got the Lions.
do you think it'll come down to a kick?
If it comes down to a kick, I hope it's not Riley Patterson.
You all know who I thought about.
I hope it's not Justin Tucker either, though, buddy.
Hey, we owe them.
Yes.
We owe them. The refs, first of all, cheated in that
they didn't
game.
get that snap off.
The snap was like 3 seconds past it, and they never should have been able to even try to kick that field goal. It went in. We owe them an ass whooping. So far, we've paid off everybody except Seattle. We have not paid back Seattle yet. Let's pay back Baltimore next week, guys. Lions at the Ravens. Congrats today. Lions 20, Tampa Bay 6. Hats off. Jared Goff, a couple of touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 catches, a touchdown. Jamison Williams, first catch for a touchdown this year. Phenomenal job. Cam Sutton, Tracy Walker, you kicked ass today. Congratulations, Lion fans.
Sheila Ford, I love you.
We love you. Lion fans, 13 out of 16. It's a win. It's a 5-1 start for the Lions. I don't remember the last time that happened. Actually, it wasn't that long ago, but I don't remember that one because this is a true
12
blue.
years ago.
This is a true blue team.
Yeah.
You got to believe in this team. Make sure you tune us in.
The number
tomorrow.
1 team in the NFC. Enjoy it, Detroit.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Iafrady and Flannel gets you started off with the morning show, and then you got the real deal. Neil Rule coming off that big marathon run of his today. Do you know Neil Rule ran a Detroit Marathon?
People who run marathons are insane to me.
He is insane.
Yeah.
But he'll be here. D-Mac and the rest of the gang. Maybe Lindsey will pop in, talk about his 49ers losing. Then we got Ermanni, Edwards, and me. The heavyweights after that. And then those guys in there. Booner and Broder. We got you covered. Go Lions! Thanks to the chat. Over 2,200 of you live today. Thank you. Give us a like. Spread the word. Woodward Sports on YouTube. Thanks for listening. For Anson, for Kool-Aid, for Lukey, and for Stick, I'm Maz. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Go Lions.